does anybody have any questions over what we went over in Comp 1? Because, of course, this class, one of the biggest things about this class is we want to really, we're focusing on sharpening things, working on things just a little extra, and really trying to get that Comp 1 squared away. So, because this class is just about Comp 1, really. Any questions over Comp 1? Let's see here. So I've got, let's see, we've got, do we turn everything in as bulk 2 in this class? Okay, it's a great question. So in this class, we don't do that bulk hand in that you're going to do. Now, for this class, you don't have to hand in your brainstorming or clustering or free writing or your audience awareness or your outline or anything like that, like you do in Comp 1. For this class, we're mostly just handing in, and what we're going to talk about today, our homework for this week is we're going to do a peer review for those summaries that are due next week. So in this class, what I want you to do by the end of this week, you need to have those summaries completed. And I'll show you that, but we're going to hand those in. And then we're going to do our journals, but we're not going to hand in any bulk things like we would in Comp 1. So that's a great question. I appreciate you remembering that question to ask it over here. Any other questions before we get started today? All right, so let's go ahead and begin. And I'm just going to share my screen with you, and we'll get through this. And it should be a pretty short class today, but I want to make sure that everybody's good on everything. Real quick, I do have another question. Let's see here. Okay, so if we did not turn in the other stuff, what should we do? I'm not sure what you're referring to. I tell you what, if you want to just talk to me real quick, you can go ahead and I'm going to share the screen, but you can unmute yourself if you'd like real quick, just to ask me the question.
So if we didn't turn in the other the handbook pages, what are we supposed to do with that?
Oh, okay. So let's suppose
and the other like the journal entry, because I thought we were supposed to like turn it in as a bulk too, as like we did in the composition class.
Oh, okay. No, let me show you how to do those. I'll just kind of review real quick. So with your journals, all of your journals are over here. If you take a look at my screen here, the reflective journals. So over on the left, you click on the reflective journals, and then you just hand them in right there. So you'll click maybe, for instance, journal number 1. Okay, so that was the one that was due. So, okay, so you've got the question here. And again, remember, always rewatch the Zoom videos because this is where I explain it. But basically, all you need to do, remember, is you click where it says Write Submission, and then you just answer the questions right there. And then whenever you're done with it, you click Submit, and then you've handed it in. So all the journals in this class, this is the only class you have journals on. So all the journals are the same. They're all just like that. You just go there and you read the questions, and then you answer. You click where it says Write Submission. It'll open up a little box, and you just answer the question in there, and then you click Submit. Okay. And I tell you what, if you didn't get a chance to hand that in, if you were confused, again, of course, you can always rewatch the videos, but go ahead and hand it in today sometime, and we'll be okay. All right. So it's easy.
And the workbook too.
So the workbook too, I'm going to let you hand it in,
okay.
but please don't fall behind. And again, we did go over how this works in the Zoom classes. So look, just real quick, I'll remind you on how to do that too. Okay, so the workbook is in the content and assignments, and all you need to do, for instance, on week 1, we had the first workbook. Remember the reading guide? We call it workbook or reading guide. Click there, and I don't know if you handed it the first one. And then the one that was due last week was same way. So you'll go to week 2 and click there. And then you're going to see the reading guide number 2 there. So if you didn't get a chance to hand those in, go ahead and do that. It's all still new, and the class has the new car smell and all that stuff. So, but definitely from now on, just this is how we're going to do it. In this class, we won't be handing in bulk things. And just if you forget how to hand something in or where something's supposed to go, we probably did cover it on the Zoom video, so just watch those again too. Any other
Okay,
questions?
thanks.
No problem. No, thanks for the, I appreciate you asking too. Any other questions? All right, well, let's go ahead and we're gonna move on to the syllabus. Let's take a look at where we are. So as of last week we finished the critical reading activity number 2, so the second workbook, and journal number 1. Now it's week 3. So here's what we're doing this week. So you'll have journal number 2, okay? So we just covered where to go, so you know how to get to that. And the other thing you're going to need to do is you're going to write your summaries. So again, I pretty much verbally told you how to summarize the subway paradigm shift in Comp 1. Just use that, go look over that, and you can even watch that part of the video multiple times. I'm going to have that posted by the end of the day today, or by tonight. You can watch that multiple times and kind of look at what I'm doing. In this way, virtual class is kind of better in this way than it is in person, because you can literally watch me doing it over and over again if you want to. But basically, you're going to write both summaries, okay? And there'll be 2 separate documents. And then what you're going to do by the end of this week, they need to be done, okay? And by the end of this week, you're going to go to the Blackboard page, and you're going to click where it says discussions. Because what we're going to do is we're going to post our summaries in the discussion boards so that we can peer review them. So for instance, you've got maybe your first summary, you're going to put summary 1 here and summary 1, summary 1 here and summary 2 here, okay? And let's suppose we're going to upload summary 1. So we're going to click where it says summary 1, peer review. You click there. Now, someone's already handed in her summary of summary 1, okay? So awesome. And the way we do this is we're going to click create thread. You click create thread, and you're going to click where it says browse my computer, and then you'll upload your file, okay? And I'll just pretend I'm uploading this file here. Okay, you're going to see a file, and then you press submit. Now, it's not going to let me do that because I'm the teacher, but fortunately, somebody's already submitted a summary. It'll show up like this. Now, you'll notice that this person titled the thread Subway Summary, right? And so basically, boom, summary number 1 handed in. You're going to do the same thing for where it says summary 2, peer review, okay? So summary 1 will hand in the subway paradigm shift. Summary 2 will hand in learning to play chess narrative. And after this week, so next week, if you take a look at next week, we don't have much on that schedule. Look, next week, journal 3, that's it. Well, what we're doing next week, okay, the other thing we're going to do next week is we're going to peer review. So when we peer review, we're going to click on somebody else's summary, okay? And, okay, this particular person, we're going to take a look at their summary. I'm not going to open up the summary, just for the sake we're recording this right now. But you open up the summary, and then you're going to reply to that summary, okay? So you click on the actual document to open the document so you can read it, and you click reply, and then you're going to answer the questions. Now, where do you get the questions? Here's where you get the questions. You're going to get the questions from right here. Okay, so you click on discussions on the left, and this will come up, and then all you have to do is copy and paste. So copy, and then I'm going to go in here. I'm just going to pretend that I'm responding to this. So I'm going to click on that, and then I'm going to click reply, and then I'm going to paste, and I have to do Control V to paste. But there's the questions. And then I'm just going to answer the questions. Is the author's name correctly listed in the first sentence? Well, that's a yes or no question. Maybe I'll say yes. According to your partner's summary, what is the topic of the article? Okay, so that's where you're really going to need to have a pretty good handle. You're going to need to make sure you've read it. And the topic of the article is going to be what we have in that very first sentence. So you're going to type, whatever that is. According to your partner's summary, what is the main idea of the article? Okay, well, what essentially is in that first sentence? And again, look back at the video that I'm going to post from Comp 1 today, where I described how we summarize. And also take a look at the example. Did your partner use his or her own words? Remember, we never quote, we never use, the other person's words. We never copy and paste. It's always just put it in our own words. Is the summary objective? I mean, it should not be opinionated. So you're not going to say it was a great narrative or a great story or anything like that, because that's opinionated. That doesn't go in a summary. Does the summary meet the length requirements? Is the MLA correctly used? Well, we're not even really doing MLA right now. So let's see here. So we choose who we want to reply to, or you assign us one. That's the question. You're going to choose. So all week, you have all week to upload your 2 summaries. And it isn't until next week that we're going to start doing the peer review. And so don't worry, next week I'm going to send you a video where I explain all of this again and in greater detail, and I'm going to show you a little bit more. But this week, the main thing I want you to focus on is completing those summaries. All right, that's the biggest thing. And then next week I'll describe, okay, you're going to look at 2 people's summaries and you're going to give them some feedback. Other people are going to look at yours, and I'll tell you more about that next week. I'm glad you asked that question. So if you really, there's 3 things you're going to hand in this week. You're going to do your journal number 2, and then you're going to do the 2 discussions. Okay, you're going to hand in those 2 summaries, and make sure that it's as good as you can do so your partner can give you feedback. Okay, and that's summary number 1, summary number 2 right here in your 079. And again, you can rewatch this video multiple times, as many times as you need, to know where you need to hand these things in and how you're going to hand them in. And that's all you're doing this week for 079. And again, if you think about it, the reason why we're doing this is because next week in Comp 1, those summaries are due. And I have to give you a grade in Comp 1. In 079, you get simply by having everything handed in and having it handed in on time, you get 100%. You get completion points. But in Comp 1, I have to grade you. So that's why we're doing this. That's why we're going to really do our best to give our best summaries. And if you struggle with it, it's okay. I fully expect your first summaries to be your worst summaries. And I expect them to get better over time. Okay. And that's totally part of the plan. So I just do your best. Okay. So that's what's due this week for English 079. Any questions? I will repeat it one more time. Also remember, you can always watch this again, and I'll repeat it as many times as the internet will allow. So a quick review, and then we'll get out of here for the day. So here's what we're doing. We're in week number 3. So there's 3 things you're going to hand in. You're going to hand in journal number 2, and that's going to be, you go over here to where it says reflective journals. You click there. Hey, and I appreciate, don't be sorry. I appreciate you asking the questions. I'm glad you're writing it down. So I just wanted you to know you can watch this again. That's all I was saying. So go ahead and for the end of this week, journal number 2. Okay, make sure to answer that question. Again, we click there, and then you'll click write submission, and that's where you'll answer that question. And then the other thing you're going to do is summary 1 and 2. You're going to complete those 2 summaries as best you can. Okay, look at the example and the instructions in the Comp 1 Blackboard, and then you're going to summarize them. Again, watch that Zoom video that I just did for your class, and really, I almost do your work for you, at least on one of the summaries. And then you're going to hand that in by Friday at midnight. You're going to go to your 079 Blackboard and go to the discussions, and then you're going to hand them in. So summary 1, let's suppose that's your subway paradigm shift. You click there, and then you'll click create thread. and then you're going to put a subject. Maybe it's your name or whatever you want to put for the subject, and then browse my computer, and you're going to upload. It's got to be a Word document or a PDF, or else your friends won't be able to read it. So you're going to upload your summary number 1 there, and then you're going to submit, and that is summary number 1. Then you're going to do that for summary number 2 as well. Excuse me. Any questions on any of that?
So the posting discussions is due by midnight on Friday?
That's right. That's
Okay.
all 3 of those things are due by midnight on Friday. That's going to be kind of our regular due date for everything. Every week, I'll start the week with, hey, this is what we're doing, and you need to have it all done by midnight Friday. Sometimes I'll ask you to get something done by Wednesday, but most of the time it's going to be midnight Friday. Okay, any other questions from me? I know it's going to be a short class period this time, but really it's pretty straight and dry. These are the things we need to accomplish this week. You got a lot of work in Comp 1, okay? So, but the cool thing is, in both classes, you're working on these summaries, because next week on Friday, those summaries have to be done and they have to be handed in to Comp 1. All right, guys. Well, if you don't have any further questions, I really appreciate you being here. And if you have any questions, again, always feel free to email. My office hours are Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 a.m., Tuesday, Thursday, 2 p.m., and you just need to make sure to make an appointment with me so we can get the Zoom set up. All right, guys, thanks so much. Oh, and real quick question on Labor Day. So will we have class? The answer is no. So next Monday, we will not have a Zoom meeting like this. However, I will be sending you a video of me explaining what you need to do next week, so that so that way you can enjoy your day Monday, and then you can take a look at my video on Monday night or Tuesday, and then you'll know what to complete by the end of the week. All right, guys, thanks so much. And I will look forward to seeing you next time we have class. Enjoy your Labor Day weekend. Enjoy the rest of your week. And have a good rest of your day. Bye now.